Yes, that war, those commies. This is a story about a commie. Yes, I was once a communist. This is Laughing Sal and the Communist Party. We're all in our places with bright, shiny faces. Good morning to you. Good morning to Mrs. Dawson's 5th grade class at Francis Scott Key Elementary School in the Sunset District. Aye! It's exactly 9:45. She walks to the front of the room, as she does every day at exactly 9:45. Raises one little finger in the air. Children, the communists are coming! Duck and cover! We dive underneath our desks. Wait for that atomic light that will blow out the windows and reduce us to ash. She slowly walks to the curtains and pulls them down. The room hangs in silence, trapped in the glow of a brown paper bag. I'm curious if pulling down those curtains is somehow going to protect us. Bobby Ensign, my very best friend, has another concern. He wants to see it. He is peeking between his legs at the anticipated atomic flash. And soon all the boys in the 5th grade are reciting the times tables and looking between their legs at what surely will be the end. And then Mrs. Dawson, as if on cue, unleashes those curtains. They fly in the air. We are saved. Standard school broadcast. Sousa marches. She has red lips, blue eyes are flapping like this, white hair moving like this. The communists are gone forever. We are going to be winners. Communism was a really big concern in the 50s in the Sunset. Anti-aircraft guns sprouted like daffodils at Fort Funston behind the zoo. And very few of you know this, but you know where the Summer of Love concert was? There were anti-aircraft guns at that very site. Even the safety patrol was being trained to stop the communists. ROTC students from Lincoln High School came down to Francis Scott Key Elementary to teach us how to march. Mrs. Dawson called it the first line of defense against the communists, marching and presentation. But everyone knew what marching would lead to. Once a year at the polo field, all the safety patrols would pass in review and be evaluated for their excellence and their presentation. And of course, we wanted to win a ribbon for Mrs. Dawson. So we practiced. The day of the big parade comes, and Bobby Ensign shows up. I mean, we have a problem already. It's the Catholic schools, because they have really neat uniforms. But Bobby Ensign is another problem in total. He's really big, really clumsy, and very forgetful. So he arrives. Bobby, you're wearing desert boots. We're supposed to be wearing white Keds. Look, Bobby, white Keds. Yes, Bobby, you got the pants right. They're dark. White shirts, Bobby. Remember? White shirts. That's red flannel, Bobby. Not... We poster paint white his shirt. Turn around, Bobby. And his shoes. Should have stopped right there. But the girls in the class, particularly Betty Jane Myers, now she's like the Doris Day of our class. She has an idea. Bunny bags. If the Catholics have really neat uniforms and Jesus Christ, we have the advantage of modern technology in the public schools. Bunny bags. Now, bunny bags, I see you know exactly what they are these little bags filled with chalk used to buff your shoes. We buffed away. Beat the Catholics, beat the Catholics, beat the Catholics. And the parade, we begin to march. The problem is we can't get the stuff off our hands. We're marching down the field, and then we've got these white hands. Oh, we look like clowns. This isn't good. Shit, now we look like cows with white spots on our pants. Oh, no. Bobby Ensign's shirt, it's dripping white paint. Don't let it bother us. Oh, shoot, it looks like pink. Oh, we have a commie pink shirt in front of us. Hope they don't notice. And our shoes. Oh, no, they're spouting little clouds of white dust. Mrs. Dawson was very, very disappointed. And I was standing there at that parade thinking to myself, what is a communist? I mean, every night on the news, someone would step forward. I am not a member of the Communist Party. I've never been a member of the Communist Party. But they are. And I couldn't find communists in my comic books. I mean, if communism was so bad, why didn't it show up in the comic books? I mean, fifth graders have a real intelligence, right? And they weren't on the television. Think about it. Hopalong Cassidy, was he fighting communists? No. Don Winslow of the Coast Guard? Flash Gordon? And Mrs. Dawson, she would not tell us what is a communist. She told us all about praying mantis, you know. We're going to inherit the earth like the communists. I think that's when I decided, inherit the earth, rule the world, have a party. I'll become a communist. Perfect. And Bobby Inson has a wonderful idea. We'll break into the fun house and have an initiation ceremony for all the fifth graders. Fun house. Now, for those of you who lived in San Francisco, you remember Playland? Do you remember Laughing Sal? This large, buxom clown, you know, polka dots, coquette hat, sardonic grin, gap-toothed smile. Scared the shit out of me. You know, this huge thing up there. You could hear her, you know, down at the Big Dipper. And once I was even at the bottom of the diving bell. Do you remember the diving bell went down about 8 feet? I was looking at a plastic crab. I could hear Laughing Sal. Eating a pronto pup, you know, you could hear her. She was always there. Sutro baths. You remember that subterranean make-believe world up there? Oh, nature explained to all. You know, Tom Thumb, that little guy with the queen, that two-headed snake in a jar, and that Japanese sculpture, that man in complete detail, naked man up there. I know, this was amazing. Everything was explained. And the museum down at the bottom of the hill, mechanical museum, you put a nickel in, dials moving, lights blinking. It was wonderful. Guillotines falling across metal necks, sultans' harems dancing just for a nickel. Oh, I love this place. Nature explained, mechanical marvels, and the center of the universe, Laughing Sal. I mean, that's the way fifth graders think about things. She's the spiritual core of our existence. It all makes sense. Of course, of course. She's telling us what awaits us all. So Bobby and I break into the fun house. Climb to the top of the wooden slide. You remember that slide? Cover ourselves with burlap sacks. We smell sweaty and sour grass. And in that cocoon we wait. A sailor and his girlfriend kind of giggle their way out the door. Someone turns out the lights. Someone closes the door and locks the lock. FSKEDBCB, Francis Scott Key Elementary, Dawson Brigade C. What? How do we get out? Shit! We hadn't thought how to break out of the funnel. We're stuck inside here. Whoa! We plunge into darkness down the slide. Yeah! Over the first bump. Yeah, let us out! Whoa! We didn't mean to break in. Ah! Hit the bottom of the slide running as fast as I can, going through the mirror maze. Whap, 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 whap. I'd done this in my sleep 1,000 times. My one claim to fame. Whap, 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 whap. Come to the door. Whap, 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 whap. Let us out! Let us out! We're members of the Safety Patrol! Surrounded by silence and darkness. It's the silence that bothers me. No Laughing Sal. Where is she? I make my way back to Bobby. He's doing the same thing I'm doing. Where is she? I don't know. Looking into that oven-like darkness, we can feel the room around us. The barrel rides like a huge crescendo of wave of darkness right there. A draft of air snakes its way into the cavernous space from the mirror maze, but no light, no hope. The platter. I hate the platter ride. It's right there. It's a beast of a ride that spins wildly and throws people off like rag dolls. I hate that thing. It's waiting for us. Our eyes got accustomed to the dark, and the front windows where the rocking horses were, the night magic was beginning to work its way. Evening lights and fog, and now a ghostly stencil of light spilled into the room across the floor, right to the control booth. Bobby. We get in there, laughing Sal gets back to where she belongs. All we gotta do is get there, and we do. We can just feel all the buttons. Bobby finds the biggest lever he can and yanks it back. For communism! The place comes to light. It's one of the confetti of lights spinning around. Everything's moving and tilting and seething like a huge ocean. Push the air buttons. Where are the girls? Spindles moving like this. Everything's sliding and moving. It's wonderful. We rule the world. It's great. Now even the barrel ride begins to slowly move off to our... Oh, Bobby, that's a good one. And then the platter below us. Bobby, well, maybe you should push another button, Bobby. It's really going wild now, out of control, and the control booth is beginning to pop like an earthquake. Bobby, push something else. Whap, he pushes the red button. It's Laughing Sal. Oh, we gotta get out of here. We jump out of the control booth. We're running across the funhouse in the door, and Laughing Sal's following us, breathing right in our necks. We're running to a policeman. Smash right into him. He's standing there. He smells like coffee and tobacco. Places us in the back of his patrol car. Bobby thinks it's really neato. I'm not so sure. He drives us home and does not tell our parents. I know why. He's a member of the Communist Party. Everyone's a member of the Communist Party. It's exactly 9:45. This is Dawson's class. She walks to the front of the room and raises one finger. The communists are coming! Duck and cover! We dive underneath our desk, waiting for that atomic light, and Bobby Ensign is not looking towards the windows. He seems transfixed. He's looking right at Betty Jane Myers. Now, here's an example of intelligence getting us into a lot of trouble. Betty Jane Myers has probably seen that movie, Duck and Cover, where you pull things over your head if you're outside, but we're inside Betty Jane Myers. She must just takes her dress and pulls it all the way over her head. And now all the boys in the 5th grade, like Bobby Ensign, are staring at Betty Jane Myers' white panties. Oh my God, they're beautiful. I mean, she's got these white buck shoes and these socks that are rolled down, these gammy, really great legs, and these white panties. Well, we never did talk about communism after that. We had much bigger problems facing us. Right in front of us, Betty Jane Myers and those white panties.